Good afternoon, everyone. It's Amy from Swisher Family Farm. Wanted to take a quick walk through the garden this afternoon and show you guys what has come up. Been about 3 or 4 weeks, 3 weeks I think, since we planted the potatoes and the companion plants with the potatoes, since we planted the tomatoes and the onions and the carrots. So I wanted to kind of walk through the garden and give you an update on how things are going and how our garden is progressing. So I'm just going to take a walk around through the entire perimeter and give you a an update on everything that's in here. We've had some pretty good successes so far, and we've had some challenges. Before I get started with the tour, I'm going to do a quick panoramic just to show you the outside perimeter. Remember, this year we were able to do the outside bed with the fence, and then next year, as we go through the winter, we'll add some inside beds to the garden. So next year we'll have inside beds as well as the outside perimeter. That way we can rotate what we want to plant every year. We can rotate it someplace different so that we keep the soil fresh, and because different plants take different nutrients from the soil, and so we'll be able to replenish the soil. Also too, if you get if any of your plants get a disease, you have to rotate that plant. You can't plant it in the same place the next year because it will pick up the same fungus. So you have to be careful about that. So I'm gonna do a quick panoramic around, and then I will take you on a quick tour of the garden. So you can see over here we have our tomato plants. We go around over there, we have some pepper plants, bell peppers. In the corner we have a cucumber. And then we come over to our cauliflower and cabbage, and then we have some of Justin's favorite, the Hungarian wax peppers are over here in this corner, along with another cucumber. Potatoes and our peas planted together, and then we have potatoes and beans planted together over here. And then this crazy area over here, this is why we put these in this area. These are our squash and zucchini plants. So I'm gonna start over here with these. So these are our squash plants. We have 6 total. And look at how huge they are. I mean, just the leaves are huge. We already have blossoms down underneath, and you can see there's already some squash down there. We love some squash, so we're excited about when we're gonna get to start eating these. But you can see, look at all of those little squash in there. There's a whole bunch in there already. In between these, we did do some companion planting. There's some marigolds in there. There's a little bit of dill. We do have dill in other places throughout the garden, so I'll show you that as we go around. Over here we have some radishes. We did have some bugs start eating the radishes, so we've kind of sprayed some organic spray on them, and they've been doing pretty well. These radishes grow kind of oblong. They're not the little circle ones. They grow kind of an oblong shape, and they're really good. And then these are our zucchini. We planted these a little bit later than the squash. It took us a while to find any zucchini, and so you can see we have some buds in there, but we don't have any blossoms yet, and those will all become zucchini here in the very near future. We have our Russian kale over here, and so we will be harvesting that here very shortly. We want to get this before we get before it gets too hot. Because then it's going to bolt, and then it just will be bitter. And then here, one of the things that we planted around the squash and zucchini was the catnip. Doing some research, we found that catnip is a good, what's it called? Decoy plant. Some of the bugs that like squash leaves and like lettuce and things like that also like catnip. So if you plant the catnip, they're going to be attracted to the catnip first. In fact, you can see a couple of the there was a bug right there, and I think, nope, that's the bug, that's the plant. But we've gone through and we've kind of pulled up some of the leaves to get some of the worms and stuff off. But that's catnip right there. We come over here, we have some of our potatoes. This first section of potatoes here was our Yukon Golds, and then the ones down there are the red ones. And then we have beans planted in with these potatoes, and then we have some of the herbs. We were told to, in our research it said to plant some aromatic herbs in with the potatoes, so things like cilantro, oregano. So here is some parsley, so we have some parsley in here. We have some beans back there. You can see the beans are starting to come through. We have some more potatoes. And then the cilantro, this cilantro here is not really going to be harvested to use as herbs in our cooking. This is more really just as a companion plant to help protect the potatoes. We have some German thyme in there. And the potato plants have really gone wild. I mean, we were really impressed by that. And then here we have some peas. And you can see some of the pea pods are already coming through right there. So can't wait to have those. I love baby peas. We have some more potatoes. And here we have some cilantro. Again, this cilantro over here is just a companion plant with the potatoes to help protect the potatoes. It's already starting to flower, so we may try to keep those to have our cilantro seeds for next year. Our goal is always to become self-sustainable. So we have one cucumber plant over here. The one on the other side in the other corner seems to be doing really well, a lot better than this one. But this one does have a few flowers on it, so I'm not quite sure what happened to the other one. Justin has already harvested a pepper or two from his pepper plants. These are his Hungarian pepper plants. You can see how many buds he does have on these. So he's already had an opportunity to harvest some of the plants, or some of the peppers on here, so that was a good thing. Here's some more catnip. And then we have some Italian oregano. So we have some oregano right here. And then rosemary. This one is one of my favorites. Oh, and I don't know if you can see it in here. See it right there. There's a worm. So I'm going to pull him off of here. We've gone through just about every day and pulled some worms off. We sprayed these down with some organic spray. And I'm going to keep these worms and give them to the chicken. So yeah, here's these worms. So we have, they have started, as you can see, eating some of our cabbage and our cauliflower when we get over there. But there are signs that you can look for. And some of it is if there's little black spots inside, then that means that there's likely a worm around, because the little black spots, see there, you can see some. The little black spots are their poop. Ooh, there's a big one. Dang, I was just out here yesterday. So I try to come through here every day and pull the worms off if I see them. I go through every single plant over here, and the worms go to the chickens. So I'm hoping that we don't lose the entire crop, but it looks like they've pretty much started eating on all of them. So yep, there's a couple right there. So I'll come back through here after I'm done with this video and see if I can get some more of these worms off of here. I do like to give them to the chickens, but we were hoping that we had planted enough mint with your cabbages and cauliflower and broccoli. Those are brassicas vegetables, and you should be planting things that are very fragrant with them. So rosemary's good, mint, sage, anything that's very fragrant as an herb can be planted with your cabbage and cauliflower and broccoli to hopefully help ward off some of the bugs. Clearly it's not working very well. If you look on there, you can see there's a whole bunch of worms on that one. So I'll be coming back through after I'm done with this video to pull those off. But they've pretty well eaten quite a bit of our leaves on those plants, so I'm not too happy about that. But over here we have our peppers. These are different kinds of bell peppers. So we have orange, red, yellow, green. We have several green bell pepper plants. We also have this one right here is a purple plant, and you can see how when the fruit starts, it starts green, and then you can see it turns to purple. And then this one back here is called a Mexibel. It is a bell pepper but it is a hybrid because it turns spicy. So I'm interested to try that. I'm not as big into spicy food as Justin is, but I do eat it sometimes. So, and then we have different colored peppers. And then you can see this cucumber plant over here is much different than the one that was on the other side. It is really growing up. It has a lot of blossoms on it, starting to intertwine through the fence and everything. And then here, these are 2 Goliath jalapeno plants. So I know Justin has a special dish in mind, and we're going to do a video on that. We also planted some herbs in here on this one. So we have oregano, and we have basil, and then some marigolds around it. And then these are our tomato plants. We cannot believe how our tomato plants have just blown up this year. If you remember last year, they did not get anywhere near as big. But we have, you can see we have a whole bunch of blossoms on all the tomato plants. We have several different varieties. We have a couple of cherry tomato plants. We have a couple of Cherokee purple. We have beefsteak. We have just a red tomato. So a whole bunch of different types of tomatoes, and we love tomatoes. Plus we do have some Romas, San Marzano Roma tomatoes, because Justin's going to use those to make sauce. So you can see our tomato plants really just kind of went crazy this year. In with the tomato plants, we did plant some basil. We planted some cilantro, parsley. Again, those are recommended companion plants because the basil will help to flavor the tomatoes. And what is one of the herbs that you put in tomato sauce? It is basil. So here are some onions. When we put these in, I'll put a link to the video here. Not all of them are doing extremely well, but when we put these in, they were just little things. We didn't even know if they were going to grow. And so clearly they have. So these will continue to harvest over the course of the summer, or will continue to grow over the course of the summer, and then we will harvest in the fall. And then we have a couple of we have a hybrid tomato plant over here, and then we have another Cherokee purple, and interspersed with that is some of the onions. So you can see there's some onions over there. And then the last little thing that we planted, we direct sowed some carrot seeds in here. And so we have some carrot seeds, and they are just slowly coming up. We just sprinkled them sporadically throughout here. And then sage is a plant that you can plant with carrots, and it will help to, it's a good companion plant to have with carrots. And so I've planted sage in here as well. But you can see the carrot tops, they look really good. They're just sporadically coming up, and they're in different stages of growth. You can tell some of them have come up for a little while, like this one here, and then we have other ones that are just starting out. So I thought that was they were all planted at the same time. Just interesting how they just germinated at different times. Last year we tried carrots and they didn't come up at all, so we don't know what happened, but they didn't come up at all. So I'm going to go around on the back side and show you what's coming up on the back side. So over here along the back side, Justin, I just posted this video where Justin cleared this. That was done about a week to 10 days ago. And you can see already right here, we have some watermelon and cantaloupe that are already coming up over here. So that's awesome. And over here, we have some pumpkins. And these are the Goliath pumpkins. So these are the pumpkins that are grown to be super huge. And so we're excited to see what kind of pumpkins we can get with these. Up here, these are the corn that we planted. So you can see we have some corn coming in. We did kind of try to do them in an X pattern to see how many would come up. You do like a box and then put an X in the middle, and then plant them sporadically throughout to see if they come up, and then they will support each other in the wind. We do not listen to the instructions on the corn when we're planting. On the back side here of the garden, we have some butternut squash and acorn squash, and those are coming up as well. They're doing really well. Not all of them have come up, but several have, and you know how squash does. It just blows up. So we anticipate we're going to get quite a good crop of butternut and acorn squash. Acorn squash is one of our favorites. So that's our garden for so far in 2021. We look forward to the harvesting we're going to get to do very shortly. We anticipate being able to harvest some vegetables here within about a month. Probably the squash sooner than that. So we're both looking forward to that. I anticipate we'll be able to have some good vegetables this summer. Probably not as much as we would like to be able to store for the winter, but we'll be able to get a good start on it. And then next year when we do the inside beds, we'll have an even bigger yield. So we're really looking forward to that. We want to thank you for stopping by and watching the Swisher Family Farm. We really appreciate it, all the support that we get. Please like the video if you liked it, you thought it was educational. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. And then hit the notification bell, because then you get notified whenever we post a new video. We are trying to be a little more consistent in that. We want to do at least 2 a week. So we're trying to be a little more consistent in that. There's a lot to do on the homestead, and we don't always get to record it. So thank you for stopping by, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.